4 or 5 hours later, it was supposed to take place a little earlier. I called myself taking a power nap around 8:09, I think it was, and here I am. You hear me? Before I even get off into it, stillness, abundance, love, light, health, and wholeness. You hear me? Love is the highest frequency I am. You heard? I'm an artist, so I always use my experiences, whether it's pain or pleasure, as a paintbrush. You know, that's what artists do. And I walk a road less traveled than most, because I stand in the sovereignty of myself. So this for sovereign beings only. You hear me? And to cast a beam of light in a dim world, it's a must that we become it. You heard? And I take pleasure in being the authority of my life for Team Godhead. You heard? And I say that because everybody real, and it's for those who it apply to. Everybody real outside. Nobody real. Let me put it like this: nobody real except the person we talking to sometimes, or either everybody fake except the people that we talking to sometimes. But how much do we examine the people that we talking to most times? Cause most times it be them. You hear me? I want to say, no one has power over your life unless you give it to them. What's up, Dale? Dale talking. No one has power over your life unless you give it to them, whether it be mentally, whether it be emotionally, or whether it be physically. And one person in alignment is worth a million who not. But I challenge you to be the proof, because I am. You hear me? And like I say, if you ain't got certain things in you, then it's a must that you keep it from around you. You heard? Once you recognize it for what it is, you know, you're going to have to know how to see the red flags. You heard? Question. Since last year, are you better or worse? Since last year, are you better or worse? And to bring it even more up to speed, since this year, are you better and worse? Cause the saga continue. You hear me? You know, just like the marathon continues. You know, R.I.P. the nip. The saga continues. You know, the work must go on. You know, for those of us who still here, we either one of two types of people: those who want to see, or those who don't want to be shown. I'm gonna repeat that again. We either one of two types of people: those who want to see, or those who don't want to be shown. Which one are you? Which one are you? Whatever the case, be true to yourself. You hear me? To master my power, that's all I focus on. Everything and everybody else just has become a teaching tool, you know, and mistakes is included. We're allowed to make mistakes, you know. As I said, I'm an artist, so I use my pain and my pleasure as a paintbrush. Y'all could try that too. It worked. You hear me? I know nobody like to question themselves. due to what we may be shown. And I called myself out too. Or I wouldn't be able to sit here doing what I'm doing, you hear me? Because if I ain't call myself out, somebody else would be able to call me out. And since nobody ain't able to call me out, that I know or that I don't know, in the way that I call myself out, you know, I was sent to help us get past that. But you gotta be true to yourself. And I repeat, you have to be true to yourself, brutally honest, to get past that. You hear me? And I say that because out of all the somebodies I had around me, I don't know about you, but out of all the somebodies I had around me, nobody saw this coming. Because as I previously said, nobody liked to question themselves, you know, because we don't like what may be shown. But out of all of the somebody that I had around me, nobody saw this coming. And if you here, they ain't see you coming. They ain't see you coming either. So that means you don't did some work. You heard? But we ain't going anywhere. You hear me? We right here. Rise and Power DMX. You heard? Let it come through how it come through. But we ain't going anywhere. We right here. The saga continue. You hear me? And I say that because, and speaking for myself, but not only for myself, but some of the tribe members, some of the Cosmic Consciousness family and soul tribe, you hear me? And as well as some of the peekaboos and passerbys who ain't made their mind up to just go ahead and hit the button instead of just keep passing, you know, peeking the boo and then passing by. You heard? We work hard to get to this point in our life, from the inside out. We done been through many things to get to this point in our life, from the inside out. And we healing through many things to get to this point in our life. If you ain't, for those who ain't there yet, you know, but resonate with what come through me when it come through me when I show up for myself, you know, to show out for us. You know, we work hard from the inside out, you know, because nobody see the work that go on behind the scene, but those who know the work that go on behind the scene. You hear me? And I said that to say, because it comes from real life. You hear me? If people cut you off, you know, if people cut you off, or if you cut people off, and your life got better, and theirs didn't, what do that tell you? I'll wait. And while I wait, I'm going to repeat it for y'all again, for those in the back that didn't catch it the first time. If people cut you off, because some people like to be the ones that's holding the position of power. So if people cut you off, or if you cut people off, and your life got better, regardless of what was told, if people cut you off or you cut people off and your life got better and theirs didn't, what do that tell you? What do that tell you? It was them. It was them. Now that don't mean you innocent. Like it don't mean that I was innocent. I don't make mistakes. You hear me? I know what it's like to be on grime time. You heard? And where I come from. But I'm real about it. I'm real about it. But what do that tell you? Because I already told you, it was them. But that don't mean that you was innocent. Just like I wasn't. You hear me? And it don't mean that you ain't have some work to do or some things to work out. Just like me. You hear me? But for most cases, it was them. If your life got better and theirs didn't, you hear me? I say that because we got beings out here, human beings out here, you know, that will drag you down before you're able to raise them up. You hear me? But now that you know how to recognize them, but now that we know how to recognize them, now that we know how to see the red flags, you hear me? By the work that we done in ourselves, we able to move accordingly. You hear me? I don't know who need to hear this, but this what came. I had something totally different. You know, I guess I'll probably drop it later on this evening, since we already in Friday, just in the wee hours of the morning. You hear me? But move accordingly. You know how to recognize the red flags. Move accordingly. You hear me? I don't care who it is. Family, friends, lovers, or sidekicks. I don't care who it is. It's apply your pets. You hear me? Whatever. Get it from around you. You heard? Because like I said, we ain't going nowhere. Recognize your mission so you can stand in your purpose. You hear me? And be aligned with your assignment. You know? Because we ain't giving out no easy passes, because we not no toll booths. You hear me? We're not toll booths. So you're going to have to stand in your power, you know, through your pain. You know, the only way is stand in the power. You know, you got to be able to confront your pain. You hear me? Make it your paintbrush. make it your paintbrush to paint you a better picture. Make it your paintbrush to tell a better story. To tell a new story. Use it to tell a new story. You hear me? Through the healing of your self-worth. You know, use it to paint yourself a better picture through the healing of your self-worth. Because in a lot of cases, life depends on it. In a lot of cases, life depends on it. Mentally, emotionally, and in some cases physically. You hear me? Nobody like to be challenged in most cases, unless you like to be challenged in most cases. And if you're one of those beings that don't mind being challenged, that means you open for growth. You hear me? You open for expansion. You open to evolve. You open to become something that you never been. You know, and that's something that we all should be doing. You know, regardless of what we face. Like I said, we in a world where nobody is real except the person that may be saying it, or everybody else fake except the person that may be saying it. We're gonna have to start paying more attention to them people. You hear me? Cause they be the ones who have the most to hide. I've been there a time or two, so I know how to recognize that shit. And I don't mind telling people the truth, even if they cut me off, you know, by the truth, or I have to cut them off because of the lie. You hear me? But I know how to recognize the red flags. Either way, it don't make no difference. You heard? Depending whatever side you want to be on it, it don't matter. Just be real. Just be true to yourself. You know, cause ain't nothing real. What's real don't change. What's real is absolute. You know, and we gonna be here today and gone when the time come. You heard? Back in the essence of spirit. You heard? So whatever you do, be true to you. Stay committed, stay consistent, stay persistent. Because we're not going to be the topic of discussion we used to. You heard? With that, I just came through. It's late. Feel good for no reason at all. Stay radiating, vibrating, emanating, inspiring yourself, motivating yourself, encouraging yourself, healing yourself, mentally and emotionally, you know, uh, to the and to the highest extent possible. Take your time, be kind with yourself, continue to exercise self-love, because self-love is the best love. And if you haven't, tapped into that, you may need to. You hear me? To remove the blockages in your life, you got to recognize the blocks for what they are, as well as who they are. And sometimes that be ourselves. You hear me? Sometimes that be ourselves. So this journey requires brutal honesty. And whatever you do, try to find the path of least resistance for you. Because as y'all don't heard me say, life is only as good as we allow it to be. You hear me? Regardless of who we have in it or what we have in it. Life is only good as we allow it to be. And be more mindful of what we're attracting, according to the energy in us, because you don't want to be out here trying to match. You don't want to be out here trying to match, anything and everything, So what are you matching? The question is, what are you matching that you attracting? We ain't got no fingers to point. I can't blame y'all and y'all can't blame me. We got to look at ourselves. You hear me? So what are we matching that we attracting? Because our life is already showing the evidence of that. You hear me? And whatever you want to attract in your life, I want to remind us that it's only a vibration away. It's only a vibration away. You hear me? So pay attention. Whatever we're attracting, would like to attract, it's only a vibration away. And whatever we have attracted, it was due to a vibration. You hear me? So use your time wisely. Use your time with open eyes while we here. You hear me? Use our time wisely while we here. You heard? And whatever you experience, try to smile a little more, when you experiencing it. Try to smile a little more, especially if it's uncomfortable. Try to smile a little more. Be stronger in yourself and be stronger for yourself. You hear me? Cause like I say, one person in alignment worth a million who not. And it's so much going on in the world. You hear me? Outside of us. Through the world outside of us, according to the people outside of us, cause remember, every one of us is a world within ourselves, painting on this canvas of earth, by the ideas and concepts, thought forms and belief systems that we bring into it, and all the ideas and thought forms and concepts, that we bring into it, in most cases, are based off the ideas, thoughts, and concepts and belief systems that was already here. Ain't too many independent thinkers out here. I could prove that in the presence of anybody. In most cases, you hear me? Whoever you think the greatest thought leader out there, I could prove they regurgitating. They ain't demonstrating, they regurgitating. You hear me? Because just like it's only one of you, it's only one of me. But you're going to have to be the proof, you hear me, of what you came here to do. So I just came through for a little encouragement, a little inspiration, a little motivation to keep us going. You hear me? Continue to command change over your life. You heard? And be the change that you would like to see. Cause sometimes you may be the only change that you wanted to see. You ain't gotta ask me how I know, you hear me? Other than that, keep mind bending. You know, stillness, abundance, love, and light, health, and wholeness. 2 more times. You heard? That complete the 3, the triad. And I'm known as I will be you how you be you. Until we do it again, I love y'all, family. You hear me?